Today I'm making a game inspired by this art style. Let's see if I can capture the same environment and feel in a game. Time to open up my favorite game engine, Unity. I'll start by creating a simple prototype and add the fancy graphics in later. This is going to be a driving game, so first things first, I added a car. It's too bad I can't afford one of those, so for now, I'll add this one. I think it looks awesome. Who needs a Tesla anyways? I added red lights to brighten up the back. Then I used Unity's trail renderer. God, that's hard to say. Then I used Unity's trail renderer component to create red streaks of light, which turned out great. Now, every game has a goal or mission that the player completes, and for this game, the mission is to collect stuff. I know, the most original idea ever, and no other game has ever done that. So I created a Pentagon. Then I added an animation to the Pentagon to bring it to life. And now the car can drive into the Pentagon to score points. Anyways, once the player collects enough pentagons, he can move on to the next level. When the next level loads, I want a smooth transition, because games without transition suck, and I don't want this to be a sucky game. So I did just that by animating this giant black image. Basically, I just changed the alpha or opacity or something like that to create this effect. Currently, there isn't much of a challenge in collecting the coins. I can drive straight into them. So to make things a little more interesting, I added blocks that the player has to avoid. Also, I really want to visualize the music since it provides the overall feel for the game. Anyways, I wrote a script that extracts the beat from the music, and then I changed the length of the block based on the extracted beat. So I made the blocks dance to the music and turned the whole game into a block party. I also added a simple UI overlay that keeps track of the score whenever the player collects the pentagons. And in the middle of the screen, I added a timer. I thought the timer was necessary because otherwise you could just drive around and that could get boring. Now the player is forced to finish the level within a certain amount of time, which makes the game a little more interesting. I still had not found the right music for this game, so that was the next thing I focused on. Luckily, the internet has plenty of music. Fortunately, I found a whole library of royalty-free synthwave music, so a huge shout out to these guys for the great work, because I'm not a musician and they saved me a bunch of time. And now I have all the basic parts for this game, except for the cool art style. I know we can all agree that I'm quite the artist myself. This one time Leonardo da Vinci asked me to paint something for him, but I kindly declined. Yeah, I actually suck at art, but I know a guy that knows a guy, and he was kind enough to make the graphics for me. So we have buildings, palm trees, a giant pyramid, and this iconic sun with the gradient. I used the buildings to create a small city block. Then I wanted to reuse those long blocks from earlier, so I took a sphere and stabbed it a bunch of times. And perfect. Now all that's left to do is to create the levels using everything I just made. I started by adding the train and creating small mountains. Then I slowly added buildings, pyramids, and spheres over the next few levels so the player has something new to look at. The first level feels empty, but by the time you reach level 5, there's a lot more going on. I also added a time warp effect to the car when it speeds up, which turned out great. And that wraps up everything I did for this game. I think I was able to capture the retro 80s feel using these assets. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please like this video if you enjoyed.